Hillary of Creative Faith, and today I have another bullet journal video for you guys. And this time it is a really awesome collaboration with my friend Anna Christina over at By Sunday Mornings. And I'll be sure to link her Instagram and YouTube channel in the description box below. And we are sharing 5 Christian bullet journal ideas. And so I have 5 here on my YouTube channel that I'm going to share with you guys, and then she has 5 on hers also. So really, it's like 10. But before I get started sharing my 5 ideas for you all, I first wanted to say hello if you're visiting, if you're here from Anna Christina's YouTube channel. I would love it if you hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up, and also introduce yourself in the comments below. I would love to meet you through YouTube if you're here from her channel for the first time. And I also, second, before I get started, wanted to share a little bit about kind of how I met her. So I bought my bullet journal at the beginning of January, and I'll put an Amazon link in the description box below to my bullet journal. It's the Leestrom 1917, just the plain A5 black dotted one, kind of the classic bullet journal. So I bought it, and as it was making its way from Amazon to my front porch, I realized, oh my gosh, now what? So I started looking on YouTube for bullet journal ideas, and I came across Anna Christina's channel. It's called By Sunday Mornings, and I've been looking at Christian bullet journal ideas, and I hadn't found very many Christian bullet journalers on YouTube. And so I was really excited to find her channel, and I binge watched her videos and found her on Instagram also. And I just really liked her content. And so if you guys know of any other Christian bullet journals here on YouTube, put a link in the description box below for me, because I love watching bullet journal videos on YouTube. So then Anna Christina did her February 2019 Plan With Me video, and we each picked a verse for the month, and it happened to be the same verse. And I'll share about that in a sec. But I wrote a comment and said, oh my gosh, we both picked the same verse. And we started kind of talking back and forth. And it was just really cool how God connected us that way. And we started talking, and we said, oh, we should do a YouTube collaboration. And so that's kind of how this video was formed and how I got to know her. She is engaged just like I am, and so it's just neat to see kind of the things that we have in common. So my very first, and I think it's going to be one of her 5 also, Christian bullet journal ideas is including a verse on your monthly marker. So this is my February 2019 monthly marker, and I will put links in the description box below to my bullet journal playlist here on YouTube, and I have a February plan with me as well as a 2019 setup video for you guys to watch. And so this was mine. I used some of the Tombow markers and smooshed them down, put them on plastic and smooshed them down, and then just wrote February, and then my verse, which is the same as hers, let all that you do be done in love, 1 Corinthians 16:14. And that's just kind of like my goal and focus for February. And I also did one for January. It says, see, I'm doing a new thing. Now it springs up, do not perceive it. I'm making a way in the wilderness. So thinking about January and God doing a new thing in the new year. So this is idea number 1, including a Bible verse on your monthly marker. And then I also sometimes include Bible verses in my weekly spreads as well. So this was a week I had a high school retreat in the mountains, and I was so tired and exhausted. And so I wrote this verse to encourage me. It says, I can do all things in Christ who gives me strength. And then this is my weekly spread for February for Valentine's Day, and I put along the bottom, over all these virtues put on love, Colossians 3:14. So that's idea 1.5 to also include Bible verses in your weekly spreads as well. So again, that first idea was to have a Bible verse in your monthly marker. So the next Christian bullet journal idea I have for you guys is a Books of the Bible tracker. So my fiance and I are reading through the whole Bible. We started in June of 2016, and we just read one chapter a day. But I wanted a really cool visual way to see what books we had read. And so I made this little chart box and just wrote out each of the books of the Bible. And I didn't distinguish between the Old and New Testament. I just made one book. And then I colored in the ones that we had finished. And so this is a really neat way to visually see how many books of the Bible that we've read together. And then I just added a sticker and a little Bible verse. This book of the law shall not depart from your mouth. Meditate on it night and day. Joshua 1:8. So this is idea number 2, to do a Books of the Bible kind of checklist in your collections. And now we're on to idea number 3. Number 3 is Bible studies I've done and want to do. So I made this cute little chart, and so these are all the Bible studies that I've done. So I started doing Bible studies when I was living in the Dominican Republic, and we did this one about the life of David from Priscilla Shirer, Beth Moore, and Kay Arthur. And that kind of introduced me to doing Bible studies. I'd never done kind of like a prepared study that other people had kind of prepared. And so then we did one about Gideon by Priscilla Shirer, one about Jonah. We read Mary Hart and a Martha World, Looking for Lovely, The Quest, The Armor of God. And I just finished The Faithful, Heroes of the Old Testament. And so these are all the Bible studies I've done. And then I also, if I see them on sale, or if I see one that kind of sparks my interest, I have purchased some of them. And so these are the ones that I want to do. So there's one that I got about Rachel and Leah in comparison. And there's one by Beth Moore called Entrusted, The Best Yes by Lisa Turkhurst. So these are kind of ones that I want to do. And so this is just kind of a cool way. So when our Bible study gets together and we've finished one, we say, okay, now what? I can pull this out and say, okay, well, these are the ones we've done, and these are the ones that I've been thinking about, that we've been talking about, we've seen online, etc. So this is idea number 3, is Bible studies that I've done and want to do. And I will link some of these below that are my favorites. I loved the Gideon one by Priscilla. I did it in 2015 when I was living in the Dominican Republic. And then I also, we just finished it in 2018 with my Bible study group here in Oregon. And so that's probably one of my favorite ones. And then I also love the Armor of God study. It's also by Priscilla Shirer. She's one of my favorite Bible study teachers. So I'll link some of my favorite ones in the description box if you guys want to check them out. So that was idea number 3. Idea number 4, let me find it. Let's see. Idea number 4 is prayer requests. So I work full-time at a church, and then I also have a business and this YouTube channel and an Instagram account called Creative Faith, and so I get a lot of prayer requests. And so for me, I wanted to make just a really clear, easy spot for me to jot them down. I just use a few stickers, washi tape, and so then I can pull that open when I have my prayer time. This is for January, I made it super gigantic, and I did prayer requests for me and then for others, but there's a lot of wasted space, and I'm realizing that I don't have a ton of pages left, and I wanted to use this for all of 2019, and so I went down to just doing the one page for February, but I loved that I could also write this little quote about prayer. So that's idea number 4, is prayer request pages. And then my last idea for you guys is sermon notes. So I also, like I mentioned, work full-time at my church. And so that means Sunday mornings are really, really crazy for me. And so what I don't often get to just sit in and listen to the sermon. And so what I wanted to do is to force myself, because I can visually see it, to either sit and listen in and like let other things fall to the side, or go back and watch our church. Our church has a YouTube channel that we post our sermons on, and I'll put a link in the description box below to that, so you guys can look at that if you want. But that way it'll force myself to go back and listen to them and spend time studying what our church is going through in the Bible. And so kind of what I do, this is not, like I don't have this out during church. What I do, this is the our little sermon notes that our pastor makes. And so I take this, and then this is a notebook that I actually sell on my Etsy shop, and I'll link this below. And it just has lined pages and then different Bible verses on the bottom. So I'm using mine for sermon notes though, because I love the spiral binding for sermon notes. And so I have these two pieces out while I am in church and taking notes. So that's what that looks like. And then when I go home, I take the sermon notes and I scroll through them and I pull out like the main parts that I want to remember and put them here. The February 10th one wasn't on our YouTube channel yet, and so I couldn't watch it when I was filming this video. This was the day I was actually in the hospital with kidney stones, so I missed my whole Sunday. But anyway, so then I can just pull out the main things of what I want to remember and kind of see what God is teaching me here. So that is my 5th idea for Christian bullet journal spreads. So again, number 1 was putting a Bible verse in the monthly marker. And then idea 1.5 was to also include Bible verses in your weekly layouts. So I gave those 2 examples. Idea number 2 was a collections page in your bullet journal with books of the Bible that you've read and coloring them in as you go. And then idea number 3 was Bible studies that I want to do and haven't done. And then idea number 4 was prayer request pages. And idea number 5 is sermon notes. So I hope you guys have loved these 5 Christian bullet journal spread ideas, and I will be sure to link below Anna Christina's video where she walks through her 5 ideas, so you guys can see those also. And like I said before, if you're here from her channel, hello, it's nice to meet you, and I hope you'll say hey in the comments below. And be sure to give this video a big thumbs up, everyone, and subscribe to the Creative Faith YouTube channel for more faith journaling, bullet journaling, all sorts of fun ideas here on my YouTube channel. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye!